So the arbitration alerts in Warframe have been out now for long enough for most of us to have a good idea of them or how they function. These of course are veteran focused missions with a solid endo farm attached to them and a few niche mods to get your hands on along the way, while also giving you a challenge with that one life and you're out rule attached to them. But are they what you expected? It's a question that I asked a lot of you the other day and I got a lot of very similar answers. Now these missions are currently still being hotfixed and looked at by the developers with a view to improve them, so hopefully they will only get better. But for that to happen, feedback of course is needed. So how would I like to see this game mode evolve or be improved? Now take everything I say from this point on in this video as just me speaking out loud, wishful thinking, not ranting or complaining, just a potato thinking out loud. Now I'm going to start with the rewards. Currently we get 6 new mods, a sigil, an emblem, a statue, endo and enough Ayatan statues to build Optimus Potato 50 times over, as well as ear pieces for your Tenno. Now not bad rewards, they're really not. Endo is more or less always welcome unless you're one of those veterans that has hundreds of thousands of it, in which case damn. But in terms of rewards I expected a little bit more out of an elite game mode with its very own new currency or token system attached to it, because they added in the new Vitus Essence tokens but only gave us a handful of minor items to actually spend it all on. Items that honestly, if you're being real, could have been better. A lot of MMOs use token based systems for purchasing rewards from things like elite dungeons or events or raids. It's not a new system and I'm sure most of you have interacted with or seen a raid or dungeon vendor or even an event vendor. So for players with these types of token systems, the rewards are always the main focus. It's about saving up as many of these tokens to finally buy that one item or that rare piece that you really wanted. Whether it's weapons, armor, resources, boosters, rare items that cost basically a lot of these tokens, you get the idea. Warframe's arbitrations vendor, however, is pretty tame in comparison to most other vendors for elite or rare events that I've seen. Now I don't know what other way to put it, just they're not very appealing rewards. And in its current state, with the items off that vendor being so limited, Vitus Essence will become a dead currency pretty fast unless they gave us something else to actually spend it on. More items off that vendor would be really welcome. Items that players actually need. Items like rare resources that would cost Vitus Essence, like Forma, like Kuva, like Nithane, like Argon Crystals, Cryotic, Relic Packs. There are so many different items or resources that they could add into this vendor to allow players to buy with that Vitus Essence. Now whether they do or not, I guess remains to be seen. Hopefully they will, fingers crossed. And again, just to force home that this is just an opinion or just me speaking out loud, imagine if you will if they added a rare Arbiter's armor set for your Warframe that looked really unique, or rare weapon skins, or an Arbiter's version of different weapons. Hell, even an Arbiter's Lyset skin or Arbitration Syandana. You get what I mean, different items for us to spend these tokens on. Because like I said, once you've bought the sigil, the emblem, the decoration, the statue, the earpieces and those 2 mods, then this Vitus Essence becomes useless and those arbitration alerts become just about farming endo, which can be done faster if you want to in the arena with a solid group. And I know keeping everyone happy in this game is never going to be easy. It's impossible. It's literally impossible in every game community that you will play in. We will always want more, but these are supposed to be elite, challenging alerts aimed at long-standing players, and they are quickly going to become just about farming endo. Now maybe you're happy with it just being a different alternative to farming endo, then that's cool as well. Everyone's entitled to their own idea, their own opinion. Let me know in the comment section below. That's what I think about the rewards. I would love to see a little bit more added into that loot table. Now in terms of difficulty, the only real difficulty that we have in arbitration is the game's scaling and of course the invincibility that the arbitration drones give to nearby enemies. Giving enemies some form of invincibility seems to be the only way in Warframe to stop us from breezing through everything, which I don't really like. Why is invincibility the first thing that they automatically jump to? I guess it's just because of how powerful we are. I would prefer a higher amount of enemies charging at me than them adding some form of invincibility. But it is what it is, and I'm not entirely sure how else they could have went about it without just removing those invincible drones and just chucking a whole load more enemies at us, which might have been more fun. Now, these elite alerts start at level 60 once you've unlocked your complete star chart, every node on the star chart, whereas they were originally meant to start at level 80, so they got dumbed down a bit. Now, I'm not sure why they dropped the difficulty down to 60 to begin with, but if I was to hazard a guess, I would say it's to give players a chance to gain multiple rewards before getting randomly one shot by the game's bad scaling, because once you get shot and you go down, then that's it, mission over, you're out and you can't get any more rewards. Now, a level 80 corrupted shotgunner or corpus nullifier at the start of a mission would have no problem dropping certain warframes with one shot, and by the time then, if you did stay in and you got to a C rotation, enemies would be up somewhere around the level 120 mark. It would mean having multiple C rotations would be a lot harder for some players, so I'm guessing, and it is just a guess, that that's why it was reduced. Personally, I would prefer them to have stayed starting at level 80 and to keep the rotations on 5-minute or 5-wave intervals instead of the 10 minutes that we have now, but I guess it's supposed to be a challenge, and if you stay in for 10 waves or 10 minutes, then you have to be committed. Another thing is the mission boons or buffs. Currently, you can get a buff for a warframe and a weapon for each mission, and each buff varies for each player in your squad. But right now, you're able to get a buff or a boon for a weapon or a warframe that you don't actually own, that isn't in your inventory, which I'm not entirely sure why this is still a thing. With ribbons, I understand, because you can sell those ribbons and you can move on even if you don't have the weapon that you got that ribbon for. But these are supposed to be elite missions, and getting a buff for something that you don't have or own seems like a complete waste. So just to quickly recap on me waffling on for the last few minutes, these elite alerts, I really enjoyed them. They are a lot of fun and they are a welcome change to some of the missions we have in game right now. But remember, these are just my opinions. Rewards for these elite alerts need to be worth it. It can't just become another endo farm. Give us a reason to farm the Vitus Essence. Maybe add other resources or rare items to that vendor's inventory. It would go a long way to making these missions replayable or farmable and rewarding. Remember, these missions you can only do one every hour, so you can't farm multiple missions within that hour. The difficulty being bumped down to level 60, I kind of understand why it was done, but I would have preferred it to stay at level 80. I know you want to cater to all players, but at some point the training wheels need to come off. These are supposed to be elite alerts, and they should feel hard from the moment we step into the mission. And the arbitration drones, although they don't really bother me a whole lot, because you can take them out and the explosion they give off is quite nice. It would have been maybe nicer to have larger waves of enemies running at you than some artificial difficulty tacked on top of groups by making them invisible. So apart from that, like I said, I enjoy the missions, they're a lot of fun and they are challenging, but I just wanted to give a little bit of feedback as to where I think they could be improved a little bit. Do me a huge favour, by all means, let me know in the comment section below what you think of these elite alerts, what you would like to see changed with them or not, whether you're happy with them the way they are right now. If you're happy with the rewards, then that's fine as well. Everyone has a difference of opinion. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.